It has not been a good week for Donald Trump. Trump and JD Vance continue to get worse and worse ratings, and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are continuing to rise in the polls. And Trump is making it no secret that he is not happy about this, because he woke up in a panic this morning about Kamala Harris's crowd sizes. Now we'll get to that in a second, but that wasn't the only post that Trump made today. So let's just go through Trump's Truth Social page and see all of the absolutely unhinged stuff that he has posted today. So here we are on Trump's Truth Social page, and we're just gonna sort of go down his feed because he has been posting a lot today. So first up we have a pinned truth, because that's what they're called here, is truths. And here he just has an ad saying criminals for Kamala. Now we're not gonna watch it here, but I guarantee you that this is just filled with a ton of lies. Moving on, we see that Donald Trump has retruthed a few things, and this is a very common theme for Donald Trump. He likes to retruth a lot of stuff. And these ones in particular are talking about Trump's press conference, if you can call it that he's going to be making at Mar-a-Lago today. So that's what these three were, and again, those were just all retruths, not actual tweets or truths. And then here's that other post that he made that was pinned. It's just the same criminals for Kamala post. Then he's saying here, Rasmussen poll just out, Trump up big over Kamala, which of course he doesn't provide any actual numbers or images or anything to back up this claim. And of course he chose a poll that shows that he is up. But here's the thing, if we've learned anything recently, it's that polls don't really mean anything. And all of the different polls across the board have been so close that it's all really within the margin of error at this point. So him saying this doesn't really mean anything. Radical left lunatics are threatening our judges and justices, playing the ref. This is illegal and election interference. They are criminals. But here's the thing with this. This is just pure projection, because Trump is the one, after a court case, for example, who goes out, lists the full name of the judge, and then tells them how corrupt that judge is. And this causes Republicans to actually go out and attack and threaten the judges. So no, it's not the radical left lunatics, it's literally you and the Republicans. Next, we have Trump retruthing a post that he made 6 hours ago. I will be doing a general news conference at 2 p.m. at Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach. Thank you. And I'm sure as we scroll down, we'll see this post again. Then we have Trump retruthing this image saying we are living in a pro-criminal atmosphere. It will end on November 5th. And you'll notice that we are on a spree of Trump just retweeting, retruthing, like cringy images of him with text on it. Or if it's not Trump, it's Kamala or Biden with some crazy text on it. Like, are people really dumb enough to believe that these labels are actually real? And just the design of this is so bad. Kamala at the borders are, I did that pointing up. There's nothing up here. If this is referencing this, which you would think it is, this part should be on the bottom, so it's pointing up at this, crowd of people. So overall, just from a design standpoint, this image sucks. And that's on top of it just being complete lies and BS. But I guess that's sort of just what you expect from Trump supporters, isn't it? And now he's supporting the claim that Tim Walz has stolen valor, which again has been debunked a bunch, just not true. Radical coward. You're the coward because you can't look up the simple facts. It's not that hard, just a quick Google search. Then we just have some more retruths here. We're just going to sort of skip past them. As I was scrolling through these to actually find some more, relevant posts from Trump, I saw this one. And I just find this so funny because literally none of these are true. And Trump's over here promoting it like it is the truth, but it's literally just not. And it's so funny how they're so quick to put together this, little image saying our agenda when it's just not true. That's not our agenda. But it's crazy because their justification for it is, oh, you do that with Project 2025. Trump doesn't stand with Project 2025. But that's just a load of BS because we have tons of photos, videos, social media posts clearly showing that Trump wants and promotes Project 2025. It's only once he started getting negative press for it that he started saying, oh no, actually I don't, when he, still secretly does. So when we post things on images like this for Project 2025, that is literal things taken from the 900-page document on Project 2025. Not just some random stuff that literally nobody has ever said before. Anyway, it's so insane. Here's another one that I found. There is no way to have world peace without President Trump back in the White House. First of all, the Republicans are the ones big on war. Okay, let's clear that up first. Second of all, Trump is very close with Putin and, is supposedly very good friends with him. And Putin is promoting a war against Ukraine. So how are you going to say that Trump is pro-peace when he's literally siding with a dictator that is trying to go to war? The idiocracy of these people who support Trump is just beyond me. This is why I don't go through Trump's feed usually, because it's just full of a bunch of BS. Anyway, I'm just gonna continue scrolling through here because it's just some of the stupidest stuff I've ever seen. I've been scrolling for a long time. This just goes to show you how much retruths he's had just of like a bunch of BS stuff. Oh my gosh, it keeps going. We finally got out. Okay, we finally got to an actual post from Donald Trump. The radical left lunatics always attack our brilliant and fair judges and justices. That's the name of the game. They think they'll cower and give them decisions that they don't deserve. They play the ref, and what they do is probably illegal, but they don't care. It is the great, strong-willed, and brilliant judges and justices of our country who will lead us back to greatness. So basically, this is very similar to another post that we read a little bit ago. But like I said, this is just not true, and really it's Trump and his team who's doing that, not the left. And then we have just a stream of him posting articles that are very pro-Trump, coincidentally. And it just keeps going. Okay. We finally got to another Trump post. This election is about the economy, inflation, open borders, illegal immigration, respect for our nation, preventing World War III, and a 1929-style depression. And he's saying this as if he's going to do anything to make those things better, because historically, the economy is always worse under Republicans. And the only times it's better is when a Republican is coming in after a Democrat had just held office and fixed the economy. So, in fact, actually, yes, this election is about all this, but not in the way that he thinks. It's all about trying to keep him out to make sure these things get better. We are living in a pro-criminal atmosphere. It will end on November 5th. So this is the same thing that he said that was on that image that we saw earlier. I will expose Kamala during the debate the same way I exposed Crooked Joe, Hillary, and everyone else during the debates. Only I think Kamala will be easier. Says the guy who was initially backing out of the debates. Like, he knows that Kamala won't be easier. He's just trying to say it to put on a tough face. And honestly, I really hope that he upholds this because I so badly want to see a debate between the two. Here's that original post saying that he will be holding a general news conference. Here's another retruth from him a couple days ago. And then here was his first post of the morning. So we're going to go over this, and then we'll check out the post that he made later that was all about Kamala's crowd sizes. So let's take a look at this one. Kamala refuses to do interviews because her team realizes she is unable to answer questions, much like Biden was not able to answer questions, but for different reasons. He is just plain shot, and she is just plain incompetent. Her policies of open borders, no fracking or drilling for oil in any way, shape, or form, transgender anything, anti-Israel, but gross incompetence towards getting anything done for the Palestinians, no clue on inflation or the economy, unlimited money to fight foreign wars, and where's the period? Oh, finally over here. And so much more are catastrophic. If she is elected, our country and indeed the world will suffer a 1929-style Great Depression. It will be the worst in history and America will be destroyed. Notice how he has to just completely repeat the exact same talking points because he has nothing that's actually good. Like, it's just all the same crap. And of course, he doesn't have any actual facts or, references or anything to back up his claims. He's just spitting out words, which I guess is fine in his case because nobody's actually going to try to fact check him on this platform. But people who are not in the cult can very easily see that he's just spewing out lies. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this post where Trump was freaking out about Kamala's crowd sizes. If Kamala has 1,000 people at a rally, the press goes crazy and talks about how big it was and she pays for her crowd. When I have a rally and 100,000 people show up, the fake news doesn't talk about it. They refuse to mention crowd size. The fake news is the enemy of the people. You see, here's the thing. It's actually funny because we do talk about Trump's crowd size and how it is underwhelming. Like, whenever Trump has a rally, one of the first things that we see out from it is people recording the venue saying, oh my gosh, there's so many empty seats. So Donald, we do mention the crowd size. So that's how we know that you're lying. So it's clear that Trump is very upset that Kamala is receiving a lot of support from a lot of people, whereas he, when it is talked about, it's talking about how he has nobody showing up to his rallies. So he has to project and say, oh, nobody talks about my full rally sizes. Yeah, because you don't have full rallies. You don't have a lot of people showing up. So that's not the headlines. The headlines are saying that you don't have anyone there. It's just absolutely insane. Now I think we should take a look at some of the reactions to this, because this was posted on Twitter where I can actually see the replies. Like just even this first one, dear leaders, fascination for huge crowds is funny to watch. Remember when Bro claimed that he had a bigger inauguration crowd than Barack Obama, when in reality he barely had half of that. My favorite part of the copium lies they tell themselves is it won't change anything. Our excitement is growing. The polls are trending our way, and none of their attacks are getting any traction outside of their empty little heads. Out of curiosity, which of his rallies even had the capacity to hold 100,000 people? Rangrado First of May Stadium? He doesn't seem to know that we know he pays people to attend. Dear leader heading downhill fast. 1,000 people, Trump sees things we don't see, and yes, because he has a genius brain. Here's an image of a Kamala rally with way more than 1,000 people. I watched her rally on Twitter and there were over 124,000 viewers. OMG, he's so pathetic. His whiny crybaby routine is getting so boring. Amazing in a very bad way that referring to the press as the enemy of the people doesn't even catch people's attention anymore. That's actually true. If Trump wins, our press will become just about as objective as the press in North Korea. Guarantee you, Trump still wanders around Mar-a-Lago in a partially open bathrobe, mumbling about his inauguration. This is just so funny to think about. He's still so salty about that. And I think we'll end off at this one. People could care less about crowd size. They care about what you say at the event. Weird old Don keeps talking about sharks and Hannibal Lecter. Who cares about how many people hear that? And I think this really hits the nail right on the head here. Because ultimately, it's not about how many people attend, it's about the message that you put out at those rallies. Trump just says things incoherently at his rallies. He doesn't actually talk about policy or anything, he just talks about Hannibal Lecter. And I think that's partially why Trump's crowd size has been declining recently. Because there's nothing of relevance at his own rallies, it's just going to hear him talk. And people ultimately don't really care about that. Kamala's rallies are so popular right now because she has a lot to say. She has a lot of policy to talk about. She is a brand new candidate that people want to hear from. And in those rallies, she actually talks about stuff that is relevant to the voter, unlike Trump, who just talks about random crap. So I think it's clear that Trump is just full on panicking because he realizes nobody really cares about what he has to say. And this is causing his popularity to go down, as seen from his crowd sizes recently. And personally, I love seeing him freak out, especially over popularity wars, because Trump is all about being popular and having people love him. And when he senses that someone else is more popular than him, he starts freaking out. And honestly, this is because he has the mind of a 15-year-old who wants to be a dictator. And I don't know about you, but I definitely would like to prevent that from happening.